Welcome back to another World Cup fantasy video ahead of Matchday 4. I'll be talking about how I did in Matchday 3 and then looking ahead to how I'm going to use my unlimited transfers, and be sure to check out my unlimited transfers video as well. And all the games have just finished in the group stages, so this will have as much information as possible. We know the fixtures and I'll be talking through all of my choices. If you end up enjoying this video, you know what to do. Drop it a like and also subscribe to the channel. Let's try to get this over 300 likes and also pushing on towards 20,000 subscribers. It'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Both of my goalkeepers did a great job this week. So starting with Nopper, he got 7 points. He got the save point as well as the clean sheet against Qatar. And I think that was one of the easiest clean sheets to predict in this tournament. Netherlands have been fairly decent defensively, only one big chance conceded. And also they're facing Qatar, who really haven't offered anything going forwards. They scored 1 goal in Matchday 2 against Senegal. So I think that was a good choice. But my goalkeeper on the bench, Rochette, got 9 points because he saved the penalty. Despite conceding the penalty himself, he saved it, got the clean sheet. So he got a 9-pointer. But losing out on 2 points, I'm not really going to begrudge that too much. I think it would have been worse in FPL because there are more points awarded for a penalty save compared to in this game where it's only 3 points as opposed to the usual 5 in other fantasy formats. But still happy with 7 points from my goalkeeper and also a pretty decent kind of showing from my defense this week. We can't say that though about the Brazilian defenders. I got 2 of them in, starting with Dani Alves in probably his last World Cup game, and I jinxed them successfully. So I'm actually quite happy with the late goal by Abu Bakar, and that was obviously great stuff to see. It made things very interesting in that group. Brazil could have gone from first to second. Cameroon could have pushed themselves up to second place themselves. It was absolute chaos, but Dani Alves with a 1-pointer there. The game itself was pretty poor, but it livened up towards the end. And then going with the second defender there from Brazil, Militao picked up a yellow card, so not even a single point from him. 1 point combined between 2 Brazilian defenders, and they didn't concede a single shot on target in the first 2 games. So Brazil making all these changes going into Matchday 3, it did backfire, and Cameroon got a historic victory there over the 5-time World Cup champions. Then looking ahead to Raul, got the assist, but Germany weren't able to keep Costa Rica out. They conceded twice, which was actually quite stunning. I thought Germany would keep a clean sheet, but they haven't kept one all year in every single competition, so maybe it's not the biggest surprise. And Costa Rica have caused some upsets in the World Cup before, such as in 2014, and they made another good account of themselves, and they were so close to knocking Spain out as well. But Germany are officially out of the group stages for a second time in a row. And then Denzel Dumfries, another one with a clean sheet. So really, when I say a decent showing for my defense, maybe that wasn't true. It's just Dumfries, Noppert, Roche obviously on my bench getting some points, and Raum got 3 points, but it's nothing special, and I actually have had better weeks in terms of how my defensive line has performed. Hallelujah, hallelujah. What can I say? It's taken 3 match days, but I finally got that goal amongst my midfielders, which is so crucial. And it came, I'd say, quite fortuitously because Canada made a sequence of mistakes from the goalkeeper, from one of the defenders leading up to that event. And Ziyech, just complete quality, chipped it over. That was a fantastic goal. But once again, kind of fortunate given the circumstances, multiple mistakes made in the sequence. But I'm not really going to care. That's 8 points from Ziyech, who actually I think was my highest scoring player this week. So very happy with him. I can't really ask for too much more. I just want some more goals in general from my midfielders. But Leroy Sané picked up an assist there in a 4-2 win over Costa Rica. But once again, Germany are knocked out. So Sané will not be a kind of recurring theme in this channel for at least another few months when UCL Fantasy is back, where he's a fantastic player in that game, by the way. And not so much, I think, for his national team. But Leroy Sané, a quality player, happy to have gotten some points from him. But the rest of my midfielders, as always, was a big disappointment. Dani Olmo blanked. The same goes for Musiala, who ended up subbing out. So just blanks all round from my midfielders. Gonzalo Plata as well, who had a very underwhelming tournament. But Ziyech and Sané kind of made it a bit more respectable compared to the usual. This was the first time I didn't captain Lionel Messi and the first time that he blanks, but to be honest, his overall performance was stunning. He created multiple chances for Acuna, finding him in great spaces, creating chances for Alvarez as well. He should have gotten 2 or 3 assists really, and he should have scored himself. He had his penalty saved, a good penalty, but Szczesny beat him to it. Fantastic goalkeeping by him. And also Messi, I think, should have scored from open play there, but still, obviously a great performance. He got 3 points because of the shots on target points, and honestly, on another other day, I think Messi could have gotten a double-digit return very easily, but still happy with him and that Argentina were able to qualify. And then moving on to Gakpo, who actually, we'll talk about him very soon, very happy with him, very clinical as well. He hasn't had that many shots on target. That's why he's not getting the extra points for the 2 shots on target in every single game. He's just clinical. He has 1 shot, he scores, left foot, right foot header. He's got the perfect hat trick really over the first 3 match days. He's been fantastic for the Netherlands and definitely one to watch out for in the knockout stages. So very happy with him, and it's going to be a big decision between him and Richarlison. The final forward was Morata, who I brought in because Kylian Mbappe was benched. We got the news very early on. I had no access to internet or anything when the lineups were out for France, but I did get that information that I also talked about on Twitter and other platforms like YouTube about Mbappe having some ankle discomfort, so they did bench him. I moved him on to Morata. It paid off. Despite Spain losing that game 2-1 against Japan, another incredible game in this round of fixtures. So overall, pretty happy with my squad. Not the greatest score and nothing groundbreaking, but I have clawed back a bit of rank and things are looking better now. I captained Gakpo on the first day and I don't regret that decision at all. My original kind of plan was to captain Messi first, then switch it to Mbappe. And to be honest, if that was the case and then I saw Mbappe was kind of benched, my second captain probably would have been between Leroy Sané and Morata. So in the end, I wouldn't have lost out on too much if that was the case, but going for Gakpo first, I think just eased my mind. And I was close, or I was considering at least captaining Messi, but I just had a feeling that it could be a tight game. And honestly, 2-0 doesn't give it justice. I think Argentina played really well and should have scored more. Messi himself included should have scored and assisted more. But in the end, I'm happy with the captaincy on Gakpo. And I got 55 points overall and I've got 154 points. But my overall rank will definitely change from that, by the way. That was my rank before the games on the Friday, so take that with a pinch of salt and you will see my final rank in the deadline stream. But obviously there are some kind of glitches and bugs. I don't think we've got the full ranks and points and all of that. According to the website, they still need to be updated fully, I believe. But be sure to join my league that you can see on the right hand corner of your screen, and it's also in the description below. You can just click the link and you will join our league automatically. Now let me show you what my plans are for unlimited transfers. I've also broken this down in the respective unlimited transfers video. After a solid outing in Matchday 3, I'm going to go for Noppert once again, but the USA is a country to definitely be aware of. I think they could go quite far in this tournament, even progressing to the quarterfinals or semi-finals. But the Netherlands are the favourites in this game, and I think they will keep a clean sheet, but it won't be easy. And honestly, if the USA score or progress, it wouldn't completely surprise me, to be honest. Noppert at 4.5 million, though, is probably the best option at that price and below, especially with other great goalkeeper options like Rochette being knocked out already. I'm a bit worried about jinxing Argentina, but I am going for Otamendi at the moment facing Australia. I wouldn't double up on them despite Argentina's great defensive record, 14 clean sheets in the last 17 matches, and Otamendi, Romero and Martinez as a kind of duo, and I'm talking about the goalkeeper, by the way. They've only conceded twice really in around 10 to 15 games worth of football, and obviously those 2 goals were against Saudi Arabia, where I think Romero wasn't fully fit and he definitely lacked that match rhythm and sharpness. But I think now Romero being fully fit, Lisandro Martinez also knocking on the door, Argentina have some good options, and playing the way they did against Poland, they have a great chance of having a good tournament. And Otamendi at 5 million is the best way to cover that Argentina defense. He's nailed on and he's a very underrated player. The second one here is Theo Hernandez, another 5 million defender facing Poland. I don't think France are great defensively, but Theo Hernandez has that attacking threat, and I like that from these defenders. He can score the goals and get those extra 7+ points, but he also can get those assists, which is what you're mainly relying on with Theo Hernandez. If he can get that and a clean sheet against a very defensive Poland, then I think that could be in for a very big score for Theo Hernandez. And then looking ahead to Luke Shaw, I think is a solid choice, another 5 million defender facing Senegal. And despite Senegal being a decent team, they don't have that world-class player in Mane, and I think England will still get the clean sheet and the job done. But it's very difficult to predict World Cup football and anything can happen. You can't completely write off Senegal or any of these teams, but I think England have one of the best chances of a clean sheet, and I would rather cover England defensively rather than offensively, which is why I'm going to go for 2 England defenders here with Kieran Trippier and Luke Shaw. If you're in doubt about one over the other, maybe just go for both and you'll be fine there. And obviously one thing I would definitely recommend is covering Brazil defensively. You'll see that very soon when we go to the bench. Despite being the underdogs, I still think Morocco have a good chance of beating Spain, and Ziyech is one of the best midfielders in the game right now. He can get goals and assists, but not only that, He's also excellent for key passes, and he's only 7 million. So I would go for Ziyech, and this is one of the few cases where I'm going for a player from a country that I expect to be eliminated. But once again, you can't discount anyone, and Morocco have looked very good. Probably the most impressive African team. So Ziyech is in here at the moment, but that could change. Then I've gone for Klaassen, who I'm a bit unsure about, to be honest, but at 6 million and below, it's probably between him and Enzo Fernandez, who has been incredible for Argentina, and he probably will start again against Australia. But Klaassen against USA, he's got the attacking threat, and I think he will start over Bergwijn, with Gakpo and Depay starting up front for the Netherlands, unless Depay is struggling in terms of fitness, then things can change a little bit. But I would expect Klaassen to continue to start. And you can't ask for much more for a midfielder who's only 6 million. And then next up, I think this is definitely not up for debate, is Bruno Fernandes, the most informed midfielder in this World Cup. 2 goals and 2 assists. He has been fantastic, and he's going to face Switzerland, who could be a tough cookie to crack, but I would still favour Portugal in that matchup. But more importantly, Bruno Fernandes looks like the best option from either team in terms of fantasy prospects. So Bruno Fernandes, the best premium midfielder. He's going to be in my team. I have no doubts about that whatsoever. And then next up is Bukayo Saka against Senegal. Now, this could be Dani Olmo or maybe a few other midfielders like Ivan Perisic against Japan, but at the moment I am favouring Bukayo Saka, but it's a really close toss-up between those lot. And also Bukayo Saka, let's see if he starts. You've got Phil Foden knocking on the door, Raheem Sterling and Marcus Rashford. England have a lot of options, but only 2 slots really available for those 4 players that I just mentioned. Harry Kane's always going to start, of course, up front. So between those lot, I still think Saka and Sterling are first choice, but keep an eye out on that situation. I think England will win against Senegal, but it could be tougher than people think, especially in terms of the scoreline. So those are my midfielders and defenders so far in terms of my starting 11. Let's complete the team with 2 great forwards. I don't think it will shock many of you to see Lionel Messi in this team. He has been great for me. The 2 times I captained him in match days 1 and 2, he has delivered, the only one to be consistent for me. Gakpo obviously also delivered in match day 3, whilst Messi didn't. The 1 time I didn't captain him. He's facing Australia. It's going to be his 1000th professional game. What an occasion for Lionel Messi, and he'll be hoping he can drive Argentina forward into a great position in the World Cup, perhaps to another semi-final and beyond. Argentina definitely have that big dream, but there are some other great nations also fighting for that, and the World Cup is wide open in my opinion. There's a lot of good teams fighting for the trophy, and Argentina will be favourites in this one. But once again, do not underestimate Australia. I wouldn't double or triple up on Argentina attack or even defensively, but I think having 2 or 3 players overall is fine, and I'm not against that. But in terms of quadruple Argentina, I would be a little bit unsure. I think the best balance is probably 2 or 3 in my opinion, but of course you may disagree on that one. And the final forward, another one who's been in great form, is Kylian Mbappe, and he's facing Poland. France are going to be the overwhelming favourites in that game. I am favouring their midfielders and attackers more so than not, but I only have 2 French players at the moment in this squad, so that could definitely change. I'm looking at Rabiot potentially in midfield, and also some other options in other areas. But in terms of defenders and goalkeepers, I'm very happy with Theo Hernandez. I think that is about enough, and let's go to the bench now. And also in terms of the captaincy, I will break that down as I did in the unlimited transfers video, and that will clear up any kind of questions you may have. I have a very solid bench with maybe one possible kind of big question mark there in McGree for Australia, but he did get the assist in matchday 3, which was crucial for them to progress to the next round. But I'm looking at Alisson, Richarlison, and Alexandro. That triple up in Brazil looks very solid, and despite their 1-0 loss to Cameroon, I still would favour their defenders. Maybe go for a double or triple up against South Korea, and Brazil have a very good route to the final. The semi-final could potentially be very tough. You know, some of the possible nations there like Netherlands, Argentina look really difficult, but then you can't just kind of discount anyone in this competition. But I have a really good confidence in Brazil going far in this tournament. They don't concede many chances, they don't concede many goals, and that's why 2 or 3 Brazilian defenders, and then maybe going for a Neymar if he's fit, or Richarlison up front, I think is the perfect way to go. So a triple or quadruple in Brazil, I would highly recommend, especially with the fixture they have. And in terms of the captaincy, I would keep it very simple. I would go for Messi first, facing Australia on the first day, the Saturday, the 3rd of December, and then if needed, I will switch it to Kylian Mbappe. Some other options would include Richarlison and Bruno Fernandes for the captaincy, but I'm just looking at Messi and Mbappe. There's no need to overcomplicate this situation. 2 of the best players in the world, playing of course for the same club, and they are in great form in this World Cup. and also throughout the calendar year. So that's my squad. I talked about every single position, how I did in Matchday 3, my bench, and there are a few things that I could change potentially. I might look to upgrade McGree, maybe to Kamada, for example, if I want maybe someone a bit more reliable in that position. And I could also make a few other changes here and there, maybe add some more French players, and also go with some different countries such as Croatia or Japanese players. I think there's a lot of different players and countries to cover, but this is a very solid base, which I'm quite happy with. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed it or found it useful, then be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for new. Let's get this video to over 300 likes, and let's keep on pushing towards 20,000 subscribers. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, and you can also become a patron or a channel member. The link's on the description below. The same goes for the Discord server and the World Cup Fantasy League, so all of that is there. I wish you all the best of luck for this World Cup tournament, and I'll see you next time.